If you have never been to Girls State, let me set the scene. It is loud in the best way. The brackets are unforgiving and every match feels like it matters, because it does. And whether you're a parent thinking, how do I even follow this? Or an athlete thinking, please don't let my nerves win. Today's episode is your simple roadmap to state weekend. What to expect, how the tournament flows, and how to stay grounded when everything feels bigger. And we'll also have a special guest who will help us navigate the state brackets. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Illinois Girls Wrestling Podcast, the show that strives to create a supportive community for Illinois girls wrestling through storytelling and expert insights so that athletes, coaches, and families feel connected and empowered. Today we're getting a head start on a Girls State preview. We will go over the sectionals. We will make some guesses about state. We will also do State 101. How the weekend runs, what wrestlebacks mean, what session mindset looks like, and we will give parents and athletes prep checklist for the game day. And back in the studio with us today to go over sectional recaps as well as state preview, Coach Mike Hamilton. Okay, Coach Mike, welcome back to the studio, and we are just about a week away from the state. So let's talk about the last weekend first, sectionals. What are your thoughts?
There's definitely a lot of interesting, great matchups that, could definitely shake up the state brackets already, in my opinion. I mean, I think some matches happen at sectionals that could be it would have been a great matchup at state. I think sectionals really played into who was ready and who was ready to dig deeper for when it mattered.
I was at Schaumburg sectional, and it was brutal. I went back and I looked at some of those brackets, and I know the ranking doesn't mean much when it gets to the mat, but many brackets had 7-8 ranked wrestlers in a bracket. 155 had 10 in that one sectional. So it was a little bit crazy. Now, if we want to fast forward to state, let's just start with a very basic for families that have never been down to state and don't really know what to expect. State finals are Friday and Saturday, February 27 through 28 at Grossinger Motor Arena in Bloomington. Friday's schedule, doors will open at 6:30, weigh-ins at 7:30. Round 1 will start at 9 in the morning. Quarterfinals and the first wrestlebacks are at 11. More wrestlebacks at 1:30 p.m. And that's it. Then you have a whole half a day of sightseeing, I'm guessing. Saturday schedule, weigh-ins at 7:30. Championship semifinals plus wrestlebacks at 9 a.m. Consolation semis at 11:30. Placement matches at 12:15 and Grand March at 1:45 p.m. with finals starting at 2.
They used to have a clear bag policy. I'm unsure if they still do. That's what it was a couple years ago. I always say give yourself more time because there's a lot of parking. Don't be inept to park really close. Sometimes you can find free parking around the area. And obviously, as it's costly, some people look to save as much money as possible. Try to purchase your tickets online if you can and have a mobile scan, or be ready to wait in line at the ticket booth.
We bought the tickets online, so we went right in. There was very minimal wait. So I definitely do agree, buy the tickets ahead of time. Last year, I know we parked right next to the entrance just because I wanted access to my car. I could not bring my laptop in, so that was my only option to do anything, was to go back to my car. So I don't think you can bring selfie sticks either.
You hit the nail on the head. I'd say the fact that, electronics are pretty particular, not having laptops in there. There's a smoking section out there. If you're a smoker, you got to go out a certain door. If you're one of those people that do that, work up your nerves. They try to have you not smoke near the building, but some tend to do it anyway.
That's good.
Be ready for multiple sessions.
If you come there for morning session with the girls and you just did not get enough wrestling on your day one, you're more than welcome to come back for the afternoon section to watch boys duels. But obviously that's another ticket that you have to buy.
Yeah.
Why do you feel the state is split into 2 days instead of just doing one and done?
Now, this is a dangerous question because I say they're obviously trying to make money personally. You promote a venue, you promote the area as far as a business wise by getting people in there for a couple of days of hotel or travel potentially, multiple sessions. But obviously this can all be done in one session. But the IHSA, they'll claim that they do it to wrestle alongside the boys for team state. I think it showcases it better as far as girls and boys. It can technically be wrestled in one day, and I would prefer it to be wrestled in one day if it's going to be like this for the girls alongside boys team state. In the future, I would like to see the girls wrestle alongside the boys at state like they're at in Champaign this weekend, just a different location, so they can wrestle it all together. I think it would showcase the state's talent of boys and girls alongside each other, and then parents aren't forced to go multiple weekends as well. How that works out for regionals and sectionals, maybe we got to move it up a week before the girls do their regionals, boys do regionals, and girls do sectionals, and boys do sectionals, and then they share the same weekend.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, what would be your dream location for girls' state?
So, dream location.
Yes.
I prefer anything to always be central to everybody, not just for the Central Illinois people, but just for everybody that travels. People coming from way down south, it can take up to 5 to 6 hours if they're going to a much farther location like they do in Kids Club. Say you're all the way down by Effingham, and it used to be up in Rockford, it'd be a 5-hour drive,
Mm-hmm.
I like that its location is in Champaign, but I think we can move to maybe the Peoria Civic Center or somewhere around there where they can host more matches alongside each other, along with the seating, restrooms, accountability, and the hotels.
Okay, let's talk about mental game. It's state. This is everything is on the line for many of the participants. This might be the last time they are going. This is the end of their high school career. For some, this is the first time. What do you feel the biggest pressure trap when it comes to wrestlers?
I think the biggest pressure when they get to state is the fact that they let everybody down. I feel that kids are afraid to wrestle because they're wrestling scared because of the pressure they put on themselves, that they're afraid to let others down. I feel that they put a lot of pressure on themselves that now that they made state, and if they don't place or they don't win or they don't place as high as they thought they should have or everybody else thinks, then they let somebody else down instead of wrestling freely.
Is there a workaround to it?
Just getting your athletes to be more comfortable. A lot of parents keep their kids close by so they keep track of them. Personally, I think kids are best when they're dancing and laughing and hanging out with their friends because they're not thinking about the matches as much. I believe in crowd coaching. I know that was some people worry about that. Athletes look to the crowd for some answers too. I believe with the right people out there, they can help their athletes knowing that somebody's there to support them.
Okay, let's talk about actual state matches. And before we look at the brackets, what are you looking for when you're looking at the brackets?
When I look at the brackets, I'm seeing who has a harder path to place. Whether or not the bracket gods did them any favors, because we know there's some ugly brackets at state already. Who's on the right side? Do I intentionally lose my first match so I got a chance at a better match in the end? It can come to bite you in the butt, or do I try to wrestle it through? Everybody has a different game plan. As far as a person who's not experienced or anything else, I think they're looking for their best path to get there. And who's got the hardest is, like say, you have a 1, 2, and 3 on the same side because the bracket gods did them no favor.
I'm looking at the 100-pound bracket.
100 pounds, I see Perez going against Concow. I don't know how to say her last name. I see that going into the quarterfinals. I also see Marion and Slaughter going into the quarterfinals. On Marion, on that over Collins. Collins is a tough freshman from Olympia area, but I think Marion's got the more experience. Slaughter just had a great match last weekend. She had a big upset, as some would say. And then on the bottom side, you got Seebeck and I believe Kendra that will be in the quarterfinals with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Lily Enos and Madeline Murphy will head to head.
I could see that.
For the semis, I predicted to have Perez and Slaughter and Seebeck and Enos with Slaughter and Seebeck in the finals. I predict Seebeck, if she's 100% healthy and ready to go, I think she can pull out the win over Slaughter.
Okay.
Placement-wise, I see Seebeck, Slaughter, Perez is 3rd, Eno 4th, Kong is 5th, and Murphy is 6th.
Okay, cannot say anything about that. Okay, let's go on. I am looking at 105.
Yeah, 105.
Yes.
We have a returning champ, Saya. Saya is a tough wrestler, gritty on top. She's amazing. So I predict her to go against Alexia Glover of Porta in the quarters. I haven't seen Colbert wrestle. She's got a pretty decent record, and when I went back to her profile, she had some pretty good wins, but Glover's one of those undercard girls that you just don't know about. I predict Kelly against Nold. On the bottom side, I had Arambula versus Shimkiv, and Mueller over Rogers.
Okay.
Or, sorry, Mueller and Rogers on the quarter is what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
And then semis, I predicted to have Saya and Charlotte Nold, and Shimkiv and Mueller, with Shimkiv winning and Saya going to the finals, with the winner being Shimkiv, actually.
Okay.
Prediction-wise placement.
Mm-hmm.
I see Nadia at first, Saya at second, Nadia taking out the champ there. Charlotte Nold at 3rd, Annabelle Mueller at 4th, Emma Rogers at 5th, and Lily Diebel taking out and going in 6th.
Okay. Okay.
Who do you predict in that one?
You know what? I know Shimkiv more than I know anybody else, and I could see her going places, definitely.
Well, Nadia's already got a win over Saya this season, right?
Yes.
I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do we expect fireworks? I expect Saya to bring it up and turn it up a notch, but Shimkiv wrestled some really good girls, and she's taken out Saya once already. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's why we wrestle.
Absolutely. We're looking at 110 now.
Oh, 10. It's got some good girls in here that I like all over the board, but, I can't pick them over personal feelings and results.
And there is a number of them that's coming out that have been to the previous IHSA state.
Absolutely, yep. This one's got a lot of returning ones.
Mm-hmm.
In the quarters, I ended up having Sunny Isamcore against Chloe Skiles, returning state champ.
Mm-hmm.
Carmen Jackson versus Blair Grennan, a returning placer, as in Blair. Zoe Dodgers and Lily Gwaltney. And Rosalind Mosier over Dewar from Edwardsville against Jade Hardy. Semis, I ended up having Chloe Skiles to Blair Grennan, with Skiles advancing to the finals, and Zoe Dodgers and Hardy in the semis, with Zoe Dodgers in the finals. And I really look forward to seeing this one. Zoe Dodgers undefeated, Chloe Skiles with her one loss. I do think Chloe Skiles can pull it out. I think it'll be a much closer match than many anticipate, though.
I definitely can see Chloe going places, and Zoe Dodgers as well. I'm looking at Valeria DeSantis. You're not predicting her making out. Okay, making it out of the quarterfinal.
I don't see her making it out of the into the quarterfinals. I did have her coming on the backside, but I still had her end up losing on the backside. And placement-wise, I ended up with Chloe Skiles, Zoe Dodges, Blair Grennan at 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
Jade Hardy at 4th, Carmen Jackson, and Rosalind Mosier, all the same ones that made the previous in the quarters. I just think that Placentes falls into the loser of 13, which is Gwaltney and Dodgers, and Gwaltney's had a pretty good season. She's been pretty seasoned there, and that's how I ended up having her, or she'd end up running into Rosalind Mosier or Jade Hardy, and I still think Mosier takes out either one of them at that point. So
let's go on to 115. Starting with Zoe Dempsey.
Yes, Zoe Dempsey. She's had a incredible season so far, too, herself, up there from Lincoln Way.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up having Zoe and Bailey Self. I've seen Layla Vaughn wrestle. She's an amazing little wrestler. But Bailey's had a successful season. I'd like to see either of them wrestle at the best of their ability and give it a close match, but I still see Bailey Self coming out on top of that one.
Okay.
Genevieve Dykstra over Autumn Starr from Bloomington. Nothing against Autumn. I love the girl. She's an amazing kid. I just think Genevieve's on the upper level right now above her. Experience, age, and strength. And then we'll have Demetria Griffin against her in the quarters. Bottom side, I see Chloe Hedges, who's killing it over there in Canton. Mm-hmm. Yasmin Garcia. I don't know Yasmin Garcia as much, or Anna Lee. I just kind of looked at some results. So that I see Garcia in the quarters against Hedges. And then on the bottom quarter, I see Piazza and Rylan Yonker. Now, I love both these girls very much, and I think Piazza will end up pulling that and going to the semifinals against Chloe Hedges. I see Piazza making the finals against Zoe Dempsey, as she'll wrestle Genevieve Dykstra in the semis. Placement, I'd have Stella Piazza at first, Zoe Dempsey at second, Rylan Yonker at third, Bailey Self at fourth, Genevieve Dykstra at fifth, and Chloe Hedges at sixth. This one heavily favors some of the South girls because they've just been wrestling for so long, and I've known them for a lot longer, not taking away from any of the Chicago girls, but these girls are on some next level stuff, and if they end up beating out some girls, I look forward to it, and that's what I do predictions for us.
Yeah.
For somebody to be proven wrong.
And this is not the only bracket where you can see a freshman going against senior. And
yep.
Yeah, and I know last time we were talking and I was suggesting that this will be another year of senior, and I think I have to take it back because there is so many incredible freshmen that are really, really stepping up in a big way.
Absolutely. And that's what's the hardest part is too, is as a freshman in the upper weights, you're dealing with a lot more senior level girls or juniors that are on that level, that they're just stronger, they're more mature. So freshmen have to step it up. Where at the lower weights, you see a lot of freshmen tend to come in and dominate really good, and that's what I enjoy about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're looking at 120, and I know that's one of the most brackets that we had in Schaumburg. And that bracket did not get any better at state. It's only getting more and more complicated.
I look forward to this bracket a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I got Angelina Ghosh against Ashley Bosman. I don't mean to butcher any names, guys, out there. So
okay,
I get that against Ashley there. I got Carolina Konopka against Alani Muex. And I see Konopka against Ghosh in the semifinals.
Okay.
With obviously Angelina Ghosh making the finals there.
Mm-hmm.
On the bottom side, I know Nina seems to have a great record as a freshman, I think, but Sylvester could pull out the win over Nina, and I had her going in against Ava Meyer over Delaney Ledbetter, which is one of my Southern girls who I love as well. Nothing against her, but Ava's having a great freshman season. She's got some big wins when it really mattered, and that's what it takes, when you're winning when it matters. Lydia King on the bottom against Amelia Nadelia Polanen.
Mm-hmm.
With I got Meyer advancing to the semis and Amelia going to the semis just because of the way the brackets are drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I got Amelia going against Angelina. And Amelia's having a tremendous season as well, but I still think Angelina's the top dog in there, and I think she'll come out ahead of time. And I think, honestly, she'll separate herself from the pack. I think she can end up potential tech forward pin on the finals.
I can see that. Okay, what's your placement?
Placement, I got Angelina first. I got Amelia second. I got Lydia King coming in third.
Mm-hmm.
I got Allie Chong coming in fourth. Carolina Konopka at fifth, and Ava Meyer placing at sixth. I know it shakes up a lot of the brackets, and some people may disagree, but again, it's where you lose, and who you run into at those points, and it's hard to recover from a loss on that backside.
Absolutely, and yes, we have no control over brackets, so and your placement in so many cases means so much.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I say. It's the bracket gods, whoever's on your favor. If that's the first thing I look at the bracket is who's got the hardest path to place, because you want to try to find the easiest path for some kids, and that's what they're going to do.
Okay, well, let's talk about 125.
Samantha Greason, Seneca girl. She's been chasing tails, and she's been a multiple-time state placer coming in here. I think she'll end up going against Molly O'Connor from Lamont, who's had a blowout season for herself here. I just say she's had a tremendous showing against, and then Ariel Dobbin and against Uriah Shaw. I look forward to this matchup. Uriah's a local girl to some of us around here. Unknown. She wrestled a lot, gritty, fast paced, and she can definitely catch you sleeping, if you know what I mean. But on the bottom, good.
Well, no. I'm excited. I have never seen Shaw, but I definitely have seen Dobbin. And Dobbin moves really fast, so I would like to see somebody put a good fight against her.
On the bottom, we got Rain Scott against Kylie Damjanich, I think. I don't know. From LaSalle.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm going to butcher up names, so everybody listen out there. And then Calliope Wellman versus Charlie Dolan on the bottom side in the quarters. Semifinals, I predict that Samantha Greason will go against Ariel Dobbin.
I guess I agree with that.
And then on the bottom side, I have Rain Scott versus Calliope Wellman.
Really?
I do. Everybody might say that, but I don't think Dolan's had the quality of opponents. Not that she hasn't had some, but looking back at some of the events that they've attended, it's that they've been in a hit or miss at some of the weights that some of the other girls have been at.
Mm-hmm. Well,
obviously, with shifting weights during the season, and then goes postseason, some people are dropping up or down.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dolan is very persistent. She stays on, and she is just not giving up. So, I don't know. I don't think I've seen Willman wrestle. So that would be a good one.
Willman's a transplant from Ohio originally a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She's been on the traveling scene for quite a while. She was one time USA Folk Style National Champion for girls and everything else. Dolan's done a lot of improvement herself, so I'm not taking any disregard to her.
Mm-hmm.
She had tremendous improvement from last year already. So obviously training with Izzy has helped her a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But on the placement, I ended up having Rain Scott with first over Dobbin again.
Really?
Another close match. Yep.
I mean,
Rain Scott was able to pull.
Yeah, but
Scott was able to pull that one out.
Yes, but they did have the opposite match as well. So they have gone back and forth.
Everything's back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Rain's in the right headspace, she can pull out the win again. Rain's also just coming back from injury way back in a while, so she hasn't wrestled much. So she's just getting back on the mat and finding her feet. So you're going to take losses, and I think that's a good thing. But Dobbin's been at this a while, and I think she's been healthy for a little bit, obviously. She's got almost 40 matches in compared to Rain, who has less than 20. So, but just got to find your feet and get it wet again. I have Uriah Shaw coming in at third, Samantha Greason coming at fourth, Kylie in fifth, and Willman in sixth.
Okay. Interesting.
How'd you predict that one? Because that's a tough bracket all around. You got London Long and a few other really good girls in there.
Well, it is a very tough bracket. That's the bracket that my daughter was supposed to be on if she came out of the sectionals. I still was looking at probably Dobbin going into the finals and winning against Scott. I am happy that they are on opposite sides of the bracket. So that would make, I would not want to see them going against each other any earlier. But they have definitely, unlike other girls, they have gone against each other a few times during the Charlie Dolan. Yes, Charlie Dolan is good, but she can't. I don't see her coming out of the match with Scott. But I can definitely see her placing in the very top four.
Top four?
Yeah.
Who would you predict her to go against in top four?
I'm guessing Shaw.
Think Shaw?
Yeah. I really don't see anybody else there.
Say if she loses against Scott at 20, she drops down to loser of 11 and 9. which would be Shaw. So they would verse each other in the consolation semis potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that would definitely be who goes for third and fourth, I think. So between Shaw and Dolan,
Mm-hmm.
that can shake it up for sure.
Yeah. And I know Greason and the Miyachi, if they go against each other, they did go against each other several times before. They are,
Yep, sometimes.
and they're friends, and I know it makes it for a tough match. So I don't know. With them, it's definitely a toss. They went back and forth. Okay, let's go to 130. That's another crazy bracket.
I look forward to the finals here in this one too.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
But sorry, I shouldn't say finals, but the potential finals, how I see it playing out.
Okay, go on.
All right. Quarterfinals. Sabina has been having a heck of a season, but I just still think she doesn't have what it takes to take on Sydney Cannon, returning placer.
Agree.
I think she'll go against Keegan Edwards in the quarterfinals, with Cannon advancing to the semis.
With Keegan advancing to semi?
No, Sydney Cannon.
Sydney Cannon. Okay. Yes. I would agree.
Sydney Cannon advancing to the Sydney Cannon advancing to the semis, and then I have Catherine Deal, who's having a heck of a season. I have her going against Gurman in the quarters, with the Deal advancing to the semis against Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Cannon advancing to the finals on the top side.
Okay.
On the bottom, I have Lily White against Ava Beldo in the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Madison Hennix against Gianna Arzer in the quarter.
Okay. And which one do you think is going to come out?
Semifinals, believe it or not, it might be a shake, but I have Ava Beldo making the semifinals against Gianna Arzer, with Arzer advancing to the finals.
Okay. Yeah.
Beldo's losses have all mostly been to Sydney Cannon this year, because they wrestle so local. I know they train in the off season together too, so it's a heck of a partner to have if you're going in the States, you know?
Yes. And Arzer really did not start wrestling until the very end of the season.
Yeah, and she's another one with the low numbers on there, but again, finding her feet underneath. In the placement-wise, I think it's finally maybe Sydney Cannon's year to get first place.
Mm-hmm.
I know Gianna is an amazing wrestler. I love the kid. She's a good-hearted person.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think Cannon's going to finally close it out this year, and then Ava Beldo coming in third, Lily White coming in fourth, Keegan Edwards coming in fifth, and Catherine Deal coming in sixth.
Maybe. I could see.
How do you see that?
Well, White and Deal just cannot stay away from each other. They just keep going against each other. And every match, it's a 3-period match. They're going into overtime. And right now, it's 3 wins for White and 2 wins for Deal. So it can definitely go either way. Edwards has improved significantly. This is her first trip to state, and this is the biggest jump I have seen from her in the last year. Just observing her over the last so many years, she has improved drastically, and I'm guessing that would be since, again, she started going too easy. I would like to see Deal place higher, but you know what? With those 3, I don't know. It could be easily a toss. Okay, let's go to 135.
Okay. I got returning state champ, Claudia Heaney, obviously making it to the quarters, but I got her going against Lachowski. I got Avery Crouch and Mercedes Carrasco. That'll be an interesting one. I've had both these girls on traveling teams for me. Mm-hmm. I think Avery Crouch can pull this one out as long as she can keep her breathing in check. Mm-hmm. And I have her going against JC Martirosian, with Avery Crouch making the semis against Claudia Heaney. Obviously, Heaney advancing to the finals.
Yes.
Personally, I'd like to see Crouch make it because I've worked with her more. Nothing against Claudia. I love the kid too. Love Dan. And, and that's the down thing is everybody says, well, you're predicting that. I'm going on paper stats. I'm going to say, obviously, it's Claudia all day. Heart factor is, I know what some of these kids are like, and the closest to me is I'd say Avery, but nothing against Claudia. I'd choose her and Avery in the team any day, but obviously Claudia is going to be my go-to pick.
Sure.
On the bottom, I have Bella Castelli going against Sharon Olorunfi.
Yes.
And then on the bottom, nothing against Addison Bailey. She's a tough wrestler, but I'm going to have to go with Isabel Barrera.
I agree with that too.
Against Michelle Nafsker.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle's had a tremendous season. She turned it up for her senior year. In the semifinals, I see Castelli versus Michelle Nafsker. This one, I decided to pick with heart because of the way Michelle fights.
Okay.
I got Michelle throwing a big upset in there over Barrera and making the semis, and then I'm making her make the finals to Heaney.
Really? You don't think?
I do.
I think I probably would disagree. I probably think that the Schaumburg girl will make it through.
You think Olorunfi will make it, huh?
I think so.
Now, see, I had Castelli over Olorunfi originally to make the semifinals against Nafsker. Now, that could shake some things up on the backside for sure on placement-wise on who goes to where, but that one there I went with heart because I know I like the kid too, but I don't have a dog on the fight on that side, so I can't say that. I want to see an underdog.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm an underdog person.
Yeah. Yes, but I have seen also, God, I don't want to butcher her name, Lauren Femi. I have seen her over the years, and she's been nothing but good.
Well, you're kind of in that area, so you can picture more of these girls on a daily basis.
Yes.
I guess when you were going through your tournaments and your dual schedule. Well, the good thing is that even if something didn't happen, you got Castelli and Olorunfi. Both are coming back next year anyway.
Yeah.
State qualifiers. One's a sophomore, one's a junior. So 100% without a doubt, I think next year we're going to see him back in state. Awesome. In my opinion.
Okay. Yes.
Placement wise, I see Claudia Heaney going first.
What?
I know it. Claudia Heaney going first. Obviously, Michelle Nafsker going to go second. I got Avery Crouch coming in at third. Believe it or not, she had a nice one with Castelli at sectionals. It was a 7-6 close matchup. But the shakeup will be to me, if it lined up right, it's Barrera versus Carrasco. Whoever wins that backside, that's going to be who ends up placing in there for 5th or 6th. And then I got Zabi Badru as in 6th.
Okay.
I know it'll shake up your whole thing because you had Olorunfi in there as a potential placer. The way the brackets fell, I just didn't see it going that way.
I see. Okay. I guess
that's where, in my opinion, she would have wrestled into Mercedes Carrasco potentially if she loses to Castelli. Yeah, obviously, if she changes, if she makes it to the semis, but that's just how I think it.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's look at 140 now.
Talk about a phenom here. I get a lot of messages, everybody asking me if I know this person. I say I do. Ricky Ivy. She's shook up the whole brackets a lot. She beat out some really good girls, holding one loss in there, but hell of a very physical wrestler. Very, very fit and strong. Fast, quick. I see her making the quarterfinals against Isabella Miller from OPRF. And then I had Maria Green versus Ezra Rodriguez over Boyd in the quarters.
Okay, agree.
I got Rodriguez advancing to the semis against Ivy, and I got Ivy making the finals on the top side.
Okay.
On the bottom side, I had Tiana Jackson versus Audrey Barnes. People might call me crazy too. Just what I know of the kids. I hadn't seen Tiana wrestle. She's wrestled some good girls. I've seen some results, but I'm going to go with Audrey Barnes. out of Granite City to make the semifinals out of that quarterfinal matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Emma Durst on the bottom side against America Cabrera.
Yes, I can see that.
On that there, I have Emma making the semifinals against Audrey Barnes, and obviously I see Emma, irregardless who makes it there. I see Emma making the finals against Ricky Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
On the backside, again, it's on the shakeups, but placement-wise, it came down to Ricky Ivy first, Emma Durst second. We got Ezra Rodriguez at third, Audrey Barnes at fourth. I got Isabella Miller from OPRF coming at fifth, and Tiana Jackson at sixth.
Okay, so you don't see Green placing.
I don't see Green placing. That's just, she's had a great season as well. Nice school program. That's where I believe it was Gabby Gomez went to school.
Mm-hmm.
Just not in the cards on who you fall on that backside, in my opinion.
Oh, no. No, Gabby Gomez went to Glenbard North. This is Glenbard East.
Glenbard North, is that what it was?
Yes, yes, and
okay.
Green is and Glenbard East.
Okay, sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
I just see Glenbard, and I don't have
no,
actually
but
look at the whole North.
But I believe Maria Green goes to the Greg Gomez's club.
The only reason why I didn't see Green placing it, though, because Isabella Miller will obviously, in my opinion, lose to Ricky Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
So to make the placement rounds, it would have been between Isabella Miller and Maria Green, where I had Miller over Green.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that came into play.
Okay, I can see that. Okay, let's go 145.
This is an interesting bracket. We got returning national placer, state placer, Natalie Beaumont.
Mm-hmm.
And I have her going against Iobosa Odiasti in the quarterfinals. I got Ila Barber versus Leanne Corey in the quarters over Emily Taylor Belvedere. I got Beaumont and Corey advancing to the semifinals. And Beaumont's already obviously beat out Corey, but some people said it was a contested match. I don't know. But we'll see a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
And still have Beaumont making the finals, though.
Okay.
On the bottom side, we got Natalie Corona. And this is a conflicted one. Mackenzie Miller's a young, tough freshman, just like Aaliyah Swearigan. But some of the girls that Swearigan wrestled, it's been some really good girls, and she's got a great record against them as well. So it's two freshmen who could potentially go up against the senior Natalie Corona. But I had Aaliyah making the quarterfinals over Miller.
Okay.
Against Corona. And then I got Taylor Sutton from Peoria, East Peoria, against Garduno on the bottom. Mm-hmm. But Garduno obviously making the semifinals against Corona. And I see Corona coming out on top against Garduno. And then so that leaves Natalie Beaumont and Natalie Corona in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So no yelling Natalie there, guys. But I got it might shake some people up too. I like Beaumont and Tim too as a good people, but I got Corona. She's having a hell of a season. I think she's ready to turn it up and tear it up this time.
Okay, that would be.
I know Beaumont's loss was against Garduno this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be a swing match either way. If Gian Carla can pull off the win against Corona and make the finals again against Beaumont, we can potentially see her making it there too. But as good as a wrestler as the junior is from Ignatius, I see her placing third. I got Corona as first, Natalie Beaumont as second, Garduno at third, Leanne Corey at fourth, Odiasi at fifth, and Swearigan at sixth.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Let's look.
How's that one shake out for you?
I think you got it. I think this sounds right. With two Natalies, I was thinking Beaumont, but you might be right.
You were thinking Beaumont?
Yes. But
now, how well do you know Natalie
Just
the other Natalie Corona, since she's up from your way.
I cannot say that I know her well, and that's why I think I'm going with the Beaumont. Let's go to 50.
Okay.
Oof. Yeah, this was a bracket from hell at Schaumburg. Well, it had 10 ranked, state-ranked wrestlers.
Yeah, this one was loaded with a lot of talent. And then I don't know if it was at yours, but I do anticipate already, I'm just going to say, a rematch between Allison Grabaz and Callie Carr in the finals. I think that those are the clear front leaders right there in that bracket. No way.
Okay, I agree.
But I do see Allison going against was it Melissa Nance is what I had her in the quarters, and I had Lily Fish against Taylor Owens in the quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom side I had Trotter against Carr, and Stratton against Sabu. I've seen Sabu wrestle. She's had a pretty good season for a sophomore at Normal West.
Mm-hmm.
Semifinals, I had Allison versus Fish, with obviously Allison making the finals. And Carr versus Stratton. And I actually look forward to seeing this one. I think if Carr pushes too hard the pace, kind of like she did with Allison, and where she ended up lat dropped, it can end up being a mistake for Carr and an upset for Stratton, in my opinion.
Okay.
You see two seniors going against each other in semifinals, and they both won it. It's really going to dig down to who's got the grit by that point.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that.
As far as the finals, I'm going to upset my buddy James, but I do have Callie Carr coming in first.
Okay.
Getting her redemption back against Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Allison, I'd like to see Allison make it. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was a mistake by Callie pushing too hard, and maybe Callie would come up and fix it. But I got Allison second. I got Grace Stratton as third. Lily Fish is fourth. Kate Jones in fifth, and Maddie Wells in sixth. So
yeah,
I had some girls that they just ran into somebody too early, like Kate Jones and Maddie Wells. I think if they had a different draw in the bracket, it would be different for them. But on the backside, it worked out in their favor.
I could definitely see it. I'm ready for 170.
This one's got a few girls that I know in there too. Obviously, they wrestled for me all in the off season, but clear front winner to me is going to be Peyton Temple. I think she's the one to beat in the bracket.
Mm-hmm.
I think Layla Spans had a good season for a sophomore up there at Plainfield, but South, I just don't think she's still up on Peyton Temple's level yet. Mm-hmm. She's got an undefeated record, though, so I'll make that noted that she's 44-0, which is amazing to have for a sophomore, especially in the upper weight. So let's just say that one. But in the quarterfinals, I have Peyton Temple versus Holman. Kira Thompson versus Campbell. Layla Span over Isha Grant. I like Isha. I don't know if she's ready or not. Maybe she is. But I have her against Annalie Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have Sarah Martinez Lopera against Demi Barnes in the quarters.
All right.
Semifinals, I predict Peyton Temple and Kira Thompson, with Peyton Temple advancing to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And Layla Span advancing to the finals in the semifinals against Demi Barnes at 170.
Okay.
On the placement side, way it draws again. Like I said, Isha kind of got a tough draw, but it worked out in her favor. I got Peyton Temple as first, Layla Span as second, Isha Grant is third, Kira Thompson in fourth, Demi Barnes in fifth, and Sarah Martinez Lopera in sixth.
Once we get to the upper weights, that's a lot. It's such a different style of wrestling, and it's always interesting to see how they are staying up and just how they move.
Well, Elijah Grant has a style that I absolutely love. The girl can double the shit out of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
That's everybody's going to give me crap about that one. Isaac has an amazing double leg. She's wicked fast. She's ready to be in your face. She's relentless. She doesn't stop. She's hardworking, and that's why I see her coming back in third. The kids' losses aren't to anybody that was just a nobody. I mean, she's a bust butt worker as a sophomore. So, I mean, I see her placing higher and eventually getting her state title as she's in high school.
Okay, awesome. Okay, moving on. 190.
This one here, I got Samantha Deal in the quarterfinals against Briggs in the quarters, with Samantha making the semifinals.
Okay.
I think Briggs can shake some things up for Samantha, making it a little difficult, I hope, but let's see how it plays out, you know. I got Brooke Stellhorn against Valerie Franco. And I got, believe it or not, I got Stellhorn going to the semifinals against Deal. And Deal making the finals.
I agree.
On the bottom side, we got Courtney Walsh from Rock Island, who's had a tremendous season for a junior. I was told by a friend she just started wrestling not long ago, too. So, I mean, 29-0 for a junior to start wrestling, that's pretty good. But her downfall is she's going to fall right into Nadia Razak.
Yep.
And sadly, I see Razak decimating her and making the semifinals on that one.
Yes.
And then I got Kellner versus White, with White advancing to the semifinals against Razak. But I still have Razak making the finals against Deal for a rematch. And I see Razak pulling it over Deal.
I agree.
Nothing against Samantha. I love her too. Got to take her on Virginia Beach and other teams, but Nadia's losses, you know, you can't take it away. One of them's to Deal, and then it's just back and forth type deal. But placement wise, I have Nadia first, Samantha Deal second. I had Victoria White in third, Courtney Walls in fourth, Valerie Franco, and Brooke Stellhorn for a rematch. But I got Franco as fifth and Stellhorn as sixth.
Okay.
I don't know how that one will play out, but I think my top four are pretty confident.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting. Well, we got one more bracket.
But as you said, as you get in the upper weights, the body styles and the way they wrestle is obviously so much different than a 100-pounder because, you know, they don't shoot or they don't scramble or throw legs in like some of the others might. So it's more of a position with the upper weights.
But I feel like also in these weights, the person that actually moves is the person that will win. The person that is moving like a lighter weight.
100% agree with that one. I can 100% agree. One of my oldest daughters, actually my oldest one, she was 130 pounds in high school as a freshman, and then she eventually moved up to the heavyweight area division, and she moved like a lightweight because she was lighter at that point, and then she just continued with it. So can some of these girls like Samantha Deal and those guys continue to move like they were lighter? Or will they get stagnant and have slow feet and be heavy feet? I don't know. But again, it's who's ready that day and ready to shake up some things. That's what I love about wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what are you thinking about 235?
235. Woo. This bracket was probably one of the worst drawn brackets I've ever seen. I didn't take my opinion. And I wholeheartedly say that because, in my opinion, you have Genesis Villagrana, you have Ariana Boyd, Jasmine Renee, Phoenix Molina, who are definitely, no doubt, some of the top girls in the state. And on the bottom side, you have Ramirez and Thrush, who are the front runners, in my opinion, there. And I can say Thrush because where she is at in the draw. DeSanto, if she was in a better draw position, it'd probably work out for her favor. But having her go against Ramirez, I don't see it. I know Ramirez has beaten DeSanto a couple times. I think DeSanto has beaten her one time, but don't quote me on that. But just through the past records I was searching through. Ramirez had the upper hand over DeSanto.
Okay.
But in the quarterfinals, I see Phoenix Molina versus Genesis Villagrana of Romeoville. Love both these kids too, so it's hard to sit here and pick, who I want to win. But it's finally Phoenix's Molina's year this year. I believe. I think after 2 times being under Chloe Hosselton, this is no doubt her chase for her glory that she's going to go for, and she's going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, though, she'll have to go through Jasmine Renee and Ariana Boyd, probably the worst draw bracket right away.
Yeah.
Opening round, I think Boyd could have made the quarters against Jasmine Renee if they had just moved one down.
Mm-hmm.
But Jasmine Renee will make the semifinals against Molina, and I have Molina still coming out over Jasmine Renee. If Jasmine Renee's moving quick feet, can she push the pace and wear out Phoenix? Absolutely. But Phoenix is good in not giving up position. She's stingy, and she waits for people to make a mistake too. So,
Okay.
And then, sorry about that. I guess in the quarterfinals, I should have had Jasmine Renee versus Fortis Sophia, with obviously Renee advancing the semifinals against Molina. So I didn't want to feel like I left one of those girls out.
Yes.
Quarterfinals, I have Rebecca Ramirez versus DeSanto on the bottom side. Ramirez making the semifinals. Again, bad draw for DeSanto, because I think if she was on the bottom side, I believe she could have got past Thrush. But on the bottom side, then I have Bustamante Esmeralda, I'll just say, against Juliana Thrush. I have Thrush advancing to the semifinals against Ramirez. And this one I chose with history. I should choose Ramirez, but I choose Thrush to make the finals. Just because I don't know, Juliana seems to get that right kind of luck. Good kid, good heart. I don't know. It's just like one of those matches, you kind of push the pace and you can kind of stall it out a little bit, make it last a little bit longer, wait for him to make a mistake. And I think Rebecca might get frustrated with it. But I see Thrush making the finals over Ramirez. Oh crap! I totally butchered that up.
Why?
Because I forgot to scribble that out after I researched it more. Oh. Sorry about that. I butchered that up, everybody. Ramirez versus DeSanto. DeSanto's had more upper hedge over Ramirez, so I ended up having Ramirez. I forgot I had to play this bracket out completely. So I do have DeSanto taking the edge over Ramirez because she's had the 2 wins over top Ramirez. So, yes, I apologize. It should be DeSanto and Thrush, with Thrush advancing over DeSanto.
But DeSanto did win against Thrush before.
Yes, and that is correct too. I just think, like I said, Thrush seems to have one of those silly little lucks that when it comes to mattering in a matchup time, I did see that DeSanto did have the win over Thrush, but I've seen how it plays out, and I'm not going to cut Thrush out of this one, being a senior and pushing a little harder. She's been wrestling longer than Lily.
Okay.
Placement wise, though, it just changes up a lot. I totally butchered that up with Ramirez because of that, and I apologize to anybody, but I have Phoenix Molina in first. I have Juliana Thrush in second. I think Jasmine Renee, that's where it ends up taking out
DeSanto.
her loss will end up pushing out, but I think she'll end up taking out somebody else. But she'll end up in third. Genesis Villagrana will take fourth. Boyd at fifth, and DeSanto at sixth.
Okay.
Or not DeSanto, I meant Ramirez.
Okay, I was expecting DeSanto to place a little bit higher than that, but okay.
Now, you had DeSanto in the finals then?
No, I did not have DeSanto in the...
Well, I think, what's it? Bracket play out. If she lost in the match 22 Thrush, that puts her on the bottom side against losers of 9 and 11. Ramirez would have played in a play. So I think that's why I shook it up.
Okay.
Sadly, it's just, I don't think it worked out. that way, but I do expect DeSanto to at least make these semifinals against Thrush. I know, like I said, you said DeSanto had a win against Thrush, but the draw was just out on that backside.
Okay, I got it. Wow, this was a lot, and it definitely will make for great state competitions. So I'm really hoping that everyone is excited. There's going to be a lot of people cheering from the sides.
Now, DeSanto loses in the 20, but she would go against Genesis Villagrana. That's why it would go into consolation semis, and I had Genesis over Lily.
I see. Okay.
I think Genesis has been a gamer. I don't know. I can't say that it's going to happen that way too, but Villagrana's had some big wins. Villagrana was also one of the people who beat last year's state champ Chloe Hasselton. So, I gave Chloe one of her losses last year. So,
I think this was fantastic. I am looking forward to seeing the finals, and I know usually we can see the Flow Wrestling in recording. Do you know who is streaming it?
It'll be the NFHS network.
Okay. So that's a subscription, or if you want to wait a minute, you can watch it on Flow Wrestling.
Yeah, the IHSA, however they have their setup, it's part of their thing. But eventually, all replays will eventually be played on Flow. So,
So we are looking forward to it, and hopefully we can, talk a little bit more about it. Well, we're planning an episode hopefully next week with Chris Gosh, where we will talk about the future of girls wrestling. So we will talk about where we see it going and how we wish it would go from this point on.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for jumping on this late night call, and we'll be making sure we'll be checking on your predictions, and we'll see what comes through and what doesn't.
Oh, like I said, eventually at some point I'll type this all out. I'll put it out online, and if you want to tag it out, you're more than welcome to steal it and then screenshot it out. Obviously, these are all predictions, and it's, again, to get anybody talking, because obviously most people aren't talking about women's wrestling out there, period. It doesn't matter. You go state to state, there's hardly any podcasts, there's hardly any news coverage of our girls out there wrestling. So, I mean,
yes,
we want to get that open.
This is exactly why we're doing it, because we want people to talk up and open about girls wrestling. I agree. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much again. It was nice talking to you, and, we'll just watch them wrestle. Tournament day prep checklist for athletes. Routine is everything. Just do what you do and don't let the pressure get to you. Between matches, take care of yourself. Keep yourself hydrated, warm, and maybe keep your feet up. And when the things get tough, just keep breathing and keep moving along. For parents, decide now what your role is and stick to it. You are here for support. If you remember nothing else from this episode, remember this. State rewards the wrestler who stays present. Not perfect, not flashy, present. One position at a time, one Scrabble decision at a time, one restart at a time. And parents, your athlete does not need a second coach. They need a steady person who helps them feel safe enough to compete. Thank you for joining us on Illinois Girls Wrestling Podcast. Wrestling is more than a sport. It's a community, and we're thrilled to have you here. If you enjoyed this discussion, make sure to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. Have a question or topic you want us to cover? Drop us a message on social media or email us at ilgirlswrestling@gmail.com. We're on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Until next time.